Let's lock in. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of INZOI. In today's episode, I feel like I think I've leveled up when it comes to creating my characters, building my homes and stuff like that since I started playing maybe about like a week ago now. About a week ago, I've been active. I've been literally on the game every single day, learning skills and everything like that. So I feel like I've upgraded my levels. So today I'm going to try and create myself in INZOI and build a house for myself as well. So that's what today's episode is going to be on. If you haven't already followed me on INZOI, which is Canvas, follow me there. It's ToriaaEuphoriaa. That's 2 A's. And if you are watching here for the first time on Tori Plays on YouTube, 2 I's, 2 S's, drop me a subscribe, drop me a comment, and yeah, let's get straight into the video. I feel like having a preset is probably like the best way to start, if I'm honest. But before we go in there, I think I had to change my settings because, as you can see, top corner, 7 frames a second is ridiculous. I don't know what was going on this day that I was recording, but my frames were so low. Like, I was hitting like 60, and then later on I realized that because I had changed my monitor, it had at some point it changed automatically, and I can't remember exactly how or why it did that without me sort of like doing it manually, if that makes sense. So like in the settings or whatever, but later on I figured that out, so bear with me while like some of the frames are a bit janky or whatever, but I did fix that eventually, so maybe even later on in the video or in the next video, like, the frames will be back up to 60. And I noticed that when I do record now, I don't know if there's a glitch or because the monitors are different or something like this, because before I switched my monitors I didn't have any problems with recording or anything like that. But now that I got these new monitors, I got 2 monitors, by the way. What are they? They're Asus. That's all I know. I don't know what type of monitors they are, but if I find out what they are and you want to know, I'll leave them in the description. But back to recording, like, I'm on Streamlabs, right? And I get this error sometimes, like mid recording, that the encoding just times out. It just glitches for like 5 seconds and then like it stops recording. So sometimes I'll be recording a full video and not realize, like, I'll be so engrossed in the game and like not realize that the recording has stopped, or like, my screen size is different, and then I go back on the recording and it's just recorded like one corner of the screen. I'm like, when did this even happen? So luckily I noticed that pretty early, so it didn't affect too much of my recording. So everything that I did record is still going to be out. There just might just be like skips here and there or whatever, but that's sort of like some of the technical issues that I've been having recently, and it's not because of the game, it's just because me being me and not paying attention and being too engrossed in the game and losing track of sort of like what I'm recording and things like this. But other than that, yeah, life has been good. Life has been great. Been building. I've been trying to build like smaller homes, like 1 beds and things like that, because I get too excited when it comes to like 5-bed properties, and like, anything smaller than a 5-bed is just like, I feel like I'm not doing enough. Anything smaller than a 5-bed is like, I feel like I'm not doing enough. So I kind of challenged myself to do like smaller properties, with like a bit of a quirkiness to them. I don't exactly know how quirky it's gonna be, but like, just trying something different. I love my British builds, but sometimes a British build is not gonna work in like Do1 or something like that. So I'm kind of like building the properties for the city. but I do love my British build. So regardless of where I am, where I'm at, British build is where it's going to be. Because they're just, I don't know, they're just fun. I think because I'm used to it, because I live in the UK and I just see them every day. So every time I'm like driving around or on the bus or just like walking around, I'm looking at houses, I'm taking pictures. Like literally, I'm literally taking pictures for my game. You must think I'm a tourist or something. No, I'm just taking pictures for my games, because I'm trying to learn how to do like better roofing styles. Because while I was playing in Sims, right, roofing was one of the more difficult things that I struggled with. So like going outside in real life and looking at sort of like the roofing and like how it's positioned and things like this, you realize that it's actually very simple. It's not difficult at all, because once you get a reference, like a good realistic reference, or like maybe some references off of Pinterest or something, life just becomes so much easier. Especially like if you have for the rest of the house as well, especially like if you have like a floor plan, like an actual printed floor plan, that works. But for me, I know that I kind of oversize it, so like I don't know, like there will be like a regular rectangle, but then I'll make it like super extended, so by the time I come to fit in the like furniture and everything inside, it's just a bit meh. It gets a bit distorted, so you have to add like, you have to cut it down or add it or whatever. So yeah, but that's like, you know me guys, I love to build homes. So when it comes to characters, I don't really have much to talk about, you know. But in this instance, I decided that I wanted to build my own character, and I think I did a pretty good job. There's some bits here and there that just look not exact, but that's the whole point. Like, it's not supposed to be like, you know, identical. It's supposed to just, you know, resemble, you know, because it's still a game. It's just a game, you know, it's just a game. So there's aspects that I was kind of like struggling with, because I was like, there should just be more range and stuff. But like, based on what is available right now, again, early access, don't know how long early access is going to be like, you know, how early is going to stay early for when it's until like the full release or whatever. But up like now until then, there's definitely like major improvements to be done. And I just kind of want to mention something that I feel like not many people understand when it comes to just technology, marketing and business structure. Because it's one thing to release a game, right? Have an idea as a developer, have an idea for a game, and then speak to like, you know, creators in terms of like engineers and things like that, like software engineers and, you know, graphic designers and things like this. You have like a structure, you have a plan that you want to push forward, and it takes many years to get up to a certain point. So like, for example, this release of early access, right, it's probably taken about maybe 7 years, 8 years, you know, who knows, to get to this point, right? So people are only seeing the early access, as of now, the finished product, right? Quote unquote, the finished product. But there had been a whole entire process beforehand. So I feel like when people comment, this game don't have this, or this game doesn't include this, or the diversity is not like that, or whatever, and things like this, I feel like the whole point is to get an idea from what it was, maybe on paper, in a dream, or just like, you know, your first initial idea, to get it out, you know, the same way where you would sort of like, I don't know, like, yeah, some people say that they have dreams of, you know, being able to ride a motorbike or something like that, or they had like a super vivid dream of riding a motorbike, right? And they wake up and one day they're just like, you know what, they just have the urge to like, you know, go and search, watch YouTube videos on how to ride a bike and learn how to ride a bike and things like this. And then as this process is going on, they're continuously thinking about, you know, riding a bike and learning how to do it. So then they go and book some lessons on how to ride a bike, right? So they go and ride a bike now. They're actually on the bike. They're physically on the bike, learning how to do it. They may find some obstacles and some complications along the way as they're riding, because they don't fully know. All they know is watching it off of YouTube, because taking it off of YouTube and then putting it into real life, there's gonna be obstacles, there's gonna be difficulties and things like this. So or whatever. So like, yeah, so as they are learning how to ride a bike or a car or whatever, once they practice it more and more, once they develop it a bit more and more, they get better. So then by the time that it's for them to, you know, go and take their tests, right, they're ready, they're confident, they know that they got the skills to, you know, finally show the instructor that they're ready to, you know, drive this car on their own, right? So they go and do the test. They fail the test, and they're upset. They're like, oh, I don't want to do the driving anymore. I don't want to do the riding anymore, whatever. But then they go back to their YouTube channel, and they all they see is, you know, just bike stuff. So then that feeling inside is sort of like, you know, up again, and like they just kind of want to go and try again, you know. So they go up and they go and try again. They practice some more lessons, but this time around they're looking at the things that they did wrong, that they could have improved on, right? They're now looking at it from a different perspective, where like, oh, what is it that I can improve on? What is it that I can, you know, do better? Can I practice a bit more on this, or should I change the way that I do this or change the way that I do that? And the times that they spend working on sort of like their mistakes or what they can improve on, the more better, I don't know what to use just then, but the more that they practice, right? The more that they get in tune with what they need to work on, the better and the easier it will get for when it's time to do the final test, you know, to get up in front of the instructor and show them that they're ready to pass. So they go into the test now again, and they pass, right? And they pass, and they're now a qualified driver. But now that they're driving on their own, right? There's still some obstacles. There's still that nerve. Yeah, there's still that nerve that, oh, they might crash, or they might take a wrong turn, or, you know, they might get a ticket for parking in the wrong space, or something like all of these different types of things. There's different obstacles for different sections in your journey, you know what I mean? So I feel like it's exactly the same with like game releases and things like that, whether it's INZOI, whether it's GTA 6, whether it's whatever, like, you know, Indiana Jones, or whatever it is, right? People are only seeing the end results of a bigger picture, like, you know. So they're only seeing the end results of the smaller sections of the bigger picture, if that makes sense. So to judge like, you know, a game based off of its first run, essentially, and judge it in comparison to like a game that's been out for like 10 years, 14 years or whatever, it's really unfair. Like, it's really unfair. That's like saying, oh, I'm gonna judge a 5-year-old based on I'm gonna judge a 5-year-old with their knowledge of Spanish, you know, compared to a 70-year-old that had lived in Spain for most of his life. You know, it's like, it's an unfair comparison. I get that they're both Spanish, or they want to learn Spanish, or they speak Spanish, or they come up in a Spanish environment, but the difference between the two is one has more experience, you know, one has been in the game for much longer, you know. So exactly the same thing when it comes to games. It's like the way people are so quick to judge a new release or a new game in comparison to games that they've seen before, because there's games that we've seen before, right? There's games that we've seen before that are like, you know, I don't know, like old, right? Like are older, like maybe like 2014 or 2012 or something like that, that still run like great, you know, that still run great. And then there's games in 2025 that you look at the comparison of 2014 or 2012 or whatever, and you wonder to yourself, like, sort of, what? Like, how is a new game, like a new age game, a new yearly game, performing so, you know, so off, right? But some may say I just contradicted myself, but I'm just like explaining to you how others will see it, right? Me personally, I don't care. A game is a game to me. If it plays well, if I'm enjoying it, I'm enjoying it. You know what I mean? But like more time, I think it's so important, and what I'm trying to get across is that it's so important that we come into games with an open mind, right? We come into games with an open mind, and that we can not so harshly judge. Like we can judge, we can give feedback, you know, constructive feedback for the developers, so that they can, you know, develop some new like, you know, techniques in the game, or like, you know, advances or whatever, all these different types of things. I think these are things that we can actively come to the developer, which Krafton actually is one of those companies that actually listen. They're actually listening, and they've taken what people have seen in other games, and so, you know, like commented on other games, and, you know, made their game better because of those comments. So instead of like aggressively coming at them, just, you know, like say these will be cool, like try, like just enjoy the game, you know, just enjoy the game, even if it may be difficult, just enjoy it. You know, life is not simple, so we have to be open. We have to come with an open mind, and you know, just give it a try, just enjoy it. You know, play around with the character studios. What is it that you like about the game? Do you like the character studios? Do you like the building? Do you like the actual gameplay? I know for me, I prefer being either in the studios, to be honest, whether it's building or character customization. But you know me, I'm all about the build. So for me to play the gameplay, that's like, if it was to come out of the free, the actual gameplay is bottom of my list, because I don't ever play gameplay like that. Like, I'm not really into the stories, although that I can do those, and I mentioned it in videos before that I had like stories and, like, you know, Wattpads kind of stories to tell. So like I was really into all of that, but you know, it's just one of those things that I just really enjoy building. Like, I like to build houses because I like how they look, kind of getting inspiration for myself when I move into my new home and things like this. So it's just better for me. So I would always put building stuff above character or gameplay, right? So I feel like if you are very much a gameplay kind of person right now, I would say yes, the gameplay is a bit, you know, like, is a bit basic, you know, but that's the whole point. Like, it's early access, like it's not going to be top tier right off the bat, you know. It's not going to be top tier right off the bat, because if you want another example as well, GTA 6, everyone's talking about GTA 6, and everyone's still hyped on GTA 6 when they spoke about releasing GTA 6 almost 3 years ago now. Is it 3 years? I don't know, it just seems so long, but everybody has so much anticipation for GTA 6, and when it comes out, they know that they won't be disappointed, because Rockstar, they know that they take their time, and that they can take their time because they have games that people still be playing. You know, GTA 5, San Andreas. Like, San Andreas is such an old game. The graphics compared to now, yeah, if you was to compare GTA graphics to INZOI graphics, you would think like you're living in a different dimension, but the game is so fun to play, right? They may be different types of games, but the game in itself, just as a game, is fun to play, so people would always go back to it. And so I feel like because Crafton doesn't have many games, right? They don't have many games, right? I think, don't quote me on this, but I think INZOI is their first game, you know, so there's always going to be the next big thing, whether it come from Crafton or someone else. There's always going to be the next big thing, and I think it's a great, you know, foundation for where games will go. You know, I think it's a great foundation for where games will go, just in terms of graphics as well, because looking at like the character building and what is available to you, like motion capture and all these different lightings, and, you know, just the realism of the game. I think it's so good, to a point where it actually looks realistic, you know, as if like, I don't know, it just looks, it looks good. It looks good. Like, you wouldn't think that, I'm not like calling out anyone here, but I'm just setting examples. So like, these graphics compared to Sim graphics, like Sims, you can tell that it's like, it's a game. How can I explain this? It's like Sims, you can tell that it's a game, but if you was to just, you know, take a picture of your Zoi, right? Take a picture of your Zoi and pull it in a frame and just place it in one random place of your house, and somebody was to walk in, they wouldn't think that it's part of a game. You know, they would just think that, oh, who's that? Like, you know, that's a really cool, like, professional photo type of thing, because the graphics are so detailed, right? Whereas with like somewhere like Sims, it's like, you can see that it's been it's been computerized, like instructed on a computer or whatever. So like, there's that kind of difference, and a lot of people, you know, create these CCs, which, yes, it would eventually look realistic, but it's not as realistic. You know, I think there's a limit with like the textures and what you can do on Blender for Sims, right? Blender is a very good tool to use. A lot of movie directors and like a lot of movies tend to use Blender for certain animations and things like this for their films and for their movies, right? So you know how well it can, you know, move and look, the textures and everything like this, and buildings and whatnot. So when the full game is released, when INZOI is fully released, and it gives us the access to, you know, import Blender stuff, and whether it's able to do that now, I'm not even sure, but I know that there's like a 3D capture thing. You can literally just take a photo, scan it, and import it, which is incredible because it just uploads it straight. No in between. You don't have to go on your files to then fiddle with stuff. You don't have to open up Blender then fiddle with stuff. You can literally scan like a Stanley Cup and upload it. You know, I think that's incredible. Motion capture as well, like you just download an app on your phone and it literally scans your face and then it links it directly to your Zoi. So I think later on you might see, I think I might put a clip actually, just so that you can see like sort of like what all of that kind of looks like, and how it works. I think that's really fun. I might actually just do a separate video, just a quick like short on how you do motion capture, so that you can just find it easily and, you know, do it yourself type of thing. So I'll do that probably like on a short or something. So look out for that. Subscribe to the channel, you know, cheeky plug there. But back to what I was talking about, it was just like, yeah, like the graphics and everything is just amazing. And I think it's a really cool thing that Krafton has come up with this game. And I really do appreciate like the amount of quality that comes even just from early access. So I'm always looking forward to the full release. You know, I'm looking forward to the full release, and I think it's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be really fun. So yeah, I don't even know how long I've been speaking for, guys. But it's been really fun, just, you know, chilling, hanging out. You guys are doing numbers on my channel already. Thank you for all the subscribers. Thank you for the views. Guys, on Canvas, even on INZOI, you guys are doing numbers as well. Like, so I really appreciate all the downloads, really appreciate all the likes and things like this. So just as you guys are doing what you do best, I'm also do what I do best. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make the builds for you guys. I'll probably be posting twice a week with maybe a short here and there throughout the week. So you'll be seeing me on your feed for maybe at least 4 times a week. At least 4 times a week you'll be seeing me on your feed. So I really do appreciate you all. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Follow me on INZOI, which is ToriaaEuphoriaa, 2 A's 2 A's, and subscribe to the YouTube channel Tori Plays, 2 I's 2 S's. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.